Welcome, everybody, to Generation Dan, the podcast where we have Thanksgiving in November like you're supposed to. I'm Atlas Novak. I'm your millennial. Who else is here with me?
I'm Dino the Genetic Marvel, and I already celebrated Thanksgiving a month ago, like the rest of the universe.
And then OuterOrange is back. How you doing?
Yeah. Hi, and welcome back. I'm OuterOrange. Happy to be here. I was here 2 weeks ago, and apparently it was Thanksgiving for a different place, and I'm back, and now it's Thanksgiving for the rest of the world.
It's like we all have time machines. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Normally when we do the let's ask them back, I try and wait a while, but it was way funnier to do Canadian Thanksgiving and then American Thanksgiving.
I wasn't there yet.
I was tempted to make it the same title, be like, it's Thanksgiving, or is it the same way? Just
to confuse people.
I mean, I do like confusing people.
Sure.
It's fun. It's fun. It's a highlight. So, so Thanksgiving is in 2 weeks for you guys, or it's not. It's next week, not this coming week. The week after.
Yeah, it's next week.
So we have this full week and then the next Thursday. So it is November 28th. It is the 17th at the time.
Yeah, it's because the first day of November was on a Friday. So it's the third Thursday, and it's the same idea with when, I don't know, do schools still start on Labor Day, the day after Labor Day? Is that still a thing?
I wish.
So, when I was a little boy,
me too.
They would it would start. So it was like every time Labor Day was, or like September 1st was on a Tuesday, you're like, oh, I got a September vacation. It's great. Just a little bit extra, right? But yeah. So I feel like Thanksgiving, especially for the States, because it's so close, is definitely like a trial run for Christmas. You're like, okay, who can we hang out with for a day of eating? Because, and it's
do it again.
Yeah, because then it's going to be like a whole day of eating and possibly Boxing Day as well, which you're like, because people just don't know when to leave.
Exactly. Victoria. At least how it goes for LAUSD. So we have this week.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving break, which in LAUSD is one whole week instead of just the Thursday, Friday. I'm happy for it.
And in LA?
And then we come back and it's 2 more weeks and then the semester's over.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What ends up happening is we come back from Thanksgiving break and most teachers give their finals that week.
Yeah.
And then the final week of school is like, I'm going to show a movie. And if the principal comes in and is concerned about productive instruction, 1 week before the semester's over and I've already turned in my grades, you teach the class then. How about that?
I mean, it's at that point, you're like, what are you doing? Like the fact that you guys have an entire week off is also awesome. I'm jealous. That's for sure.
Means I get to be a feral hobo. And last year I wrote a pilot script. This year I'm going to work on my teacher musical and we'll see where it goes.
You're lucky. Well, actually, I guess it's a little different. I think in Georgia, they made it so I believe we finished school right before Christmas. So it's like the week before December.
Yeah.
So we actually have our school usually end a little bit earlier. I think it's like either the week of or the week before, unless you're super unlucky. So you have like finals like the last week. But then some people have the finals the last week and then the day of the Monday after. So they get it extra bad because they have the weekend to stress out and then they have to do finals. It happened to me every single time I went back to school because I went back to school for software engineering.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh man, this is great. We have the last week of finals. And I checked my final schedule and like, oh, your last final is the week after. And I'm like, why? Why do you do that? Why not just put it all the same week? Why is there a Monday?
It's one of those things where you're like, there's no way that's good. Like that is a bad decision.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I liked about the quarter system when I went to UCR, because we would be done in like November. And then you go on Thanksgiving, and then the new quarter starts like after you come back from Christmas, and then it's weird. Quarter system's weird.
How long is Christmas break? Is still 2 weeks, right? So you get 3 weeks? Jesus Christ! No wonder kids aren't learning anything. They're half the time they're on vacation.
Well, high school different, but college usually have like almost like a month off, and then you come back in January, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Get jobs, sons. No, jobs suck. I've had a job so long, it was the worst. Okay, so Terry, you're a liar.
Yeah.
Okay?
The I'm blanking. Something about
holidays.
I'll figure it out. Hello. This
meow 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 meow. I mean, I love the title.
Meow meow.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
meow.
It's like that's the thing is like I remember when I was in college, that was the thing because it was essentially 3 semesters was the entire year, right? You had your fall semester, then you had a spring semester, and then you had summer semester, right?
Yeah.
So if you were doing a lot, which I'm like, I'm going to work during the summertime. So it was a lot easier, but like I really liked the idea of not having to show up to class, and I only had it out with one teacher because I was like, why did you mark me low? And he's like, well, you don't show up to class. I'm like, is there anything you're teaching that's not in the book? He's like, no. And I'm like, then you're irrelevant. And if anything, you're just on a power trip. And he was like 5'5", and I'm like, I will eat you, you tiny little man. And he was like, well, that's not very productive. I'm like, I pay your salary. Fuck you. I was so angry. And it was a communications course, which I'm like, I communicate better than everyone in this class. Okay.
This was in college?
Yeah, this was in college. And I was like, absolutely not. And
I was like, if any of my students told me they were going to eat me, the cops would be involved.
That did happen in grade 9. That was Mr. Demare. And he was like, because we got into it. I was the number 1 student in the class. And I went into the exam with 92. The problem was I forgot when the exam was. I thought it was the day after. So I was in the school studying. And I saw somebody, I'm like, what are you doing here? She's like, I just wrote the business exam. Why aren't you there? And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's tomorrow. She's like, no, it's not. So I ran there and I did 60 multiple choice questions in like a matter of 5 minutes. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, so my mark dropped to like a 65. And like when we came back, he was like, bro, he goes, you got the most marks I've ever seen anyone get in 5 minutes. I'm like, I should get a higher than a 65. Like I'm a baller here, right? But me and him got into it once and I walked out of the class. And then I came back and he's like, listen, if it was the street, I'm like, I would rip you in half, little man. Because he was like a pencil neck little guy. I'm like, but we're not on the street. So you can't do anything. I'm like, but if you really want to go that route, we can go outside right now. And I'm going to teach you why you're an old man. And I'm better than you. And he was just like, that's unreasonable. It's the same teacher that I caught smoking on school property, like when I was in grade 11. And I'm like, and he's like, damn it. And I'm like, bro, don't.
Because it's the 90s and they were trying to get everyone to quit back then, or?
No, you just weren't allowed. Like they would, like teachers would have their turn to go and harass the people who are smoking, like on the line of the school grounds, because you would have to be on the sidewalk or past it. And if you weren't, because there was like little hills that you could sit on, but it was like right in front of the principal's office. So like teachers would come and be like, "Hey, you guys got to move," and you're like, "It's outside. Get over yourself," right? Like, well, those are the rules. Otherwise, you're gonna get suspended. And look at this, Terry, you need to talk to somebody. Get a job, son. Stop being a mooch. Number 1, how dare you? Number 2, I live in Canada, sir, and mooching is part of my culture. So how dare you be such a racist? I'm
dirty-minded. Eating, not what Gojo's thinking of. I think it's more like he unhinges his jaw like a snake.
Yeah,
and just the entire person.
I like. Even when I was really fat, I would throw them like, listen, bro, you don't want this because I can eat you like a sandwich. And everyone, like, as soon as I would say stuff like that, people was just, the wheels would start clicking. And people would be like, you might be able to eat me like a sandwich. I'm like, listen, if it was between me and you, you're the sandwich. That's just how it is. So.
But yeah, Thanksgiving break, it's one of those things where I'm grappling with the decision of like, do I give my kids their final before they go on Thanksgiving? That way they have it out of their systems and they can deal with their finals when they get back, or do I just throw it in the shuffle with everything else? But I don't think they're ready for like the freshmen to give them their final beforehand.
There's 2 sides to that though, right? Is they have the Thanksgiving break to study if they want.
Be honest with yourself.
No, hey, listen, they have that option, and if they don't, when they come back and they didn't study, they are going to get a worse mark. So I feel like it's very much a lesson in, critical thinking. You're like, yeah, you don't want to study on your break. That's fine. But you taking a break and then doing your final means you aren't going to be as prepared. So you're going to suffer the consequences of those decisions. And I feel like that's an opportunity to explain to me, like, hey, you guys want to be treated like adults? Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Well, and, these are the freshmen. They're 14. Like,
I don't care. Are you kidding me?
Oh, go ahead.
No.
I was gonna say I think it's better to take it before, but because that's just my mentality personally. But because like I don't know, I don't remember my Thanksgiving breaks that much. But like, dude, like you're out with family, you don't want to be thinking about exams and all this other stuff. You just want to get it out of the way and then just enjoy your break like a normal person. I mean, that's just my personal take.
No, that's clearly the nicer option. There's no question. But I feel like as a teacher, you should be able to make them suffer as like a compromise. They make you suffer, you make them suffer, ruin their holidays. I feel like that's fair. It's the same. I do a bit on stage where I'm like, during the pandemic, people were having like scheduled applause outside of their window for nurses. And I'm like, because you can't give nurses a raise. They'll use it on food and drugs. That's a horrible idea, right? So they would clap for them, and then other people were banging pots. And I'm like, I have a solution. Their reward, and this is only for like a full-time career nurse, they should be allowed to kill 3 people through their career. And like, no question. Like that's and I feel like that's a compromise. And then there was the last time I did that joke, there was a nurse in the audience, and she's like, "We already do worse." And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is going much bad. Stop talking, lady. Yeah.
At first, I was a little shocked because I'm like, oh, that would suck for a nurse to be offended. And then what if a nurse came up to you and was like, yeah, you know what? That's a really good idea. That would be worse.
Well, I mean, have you seen Dexter? I mean, it's in Dexter.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, fight fire with fire.
I get killing people in there. So
I mean, we all killed all bad people. You're like, I'm having a hard time, being angry at him. But
see, that's how you do Death Note correctly. But
I mean, listen, it's one of those things where like the problem is that laws based around freedom and things like that are always based on the righteous good. And you're like, yeah, but a lot of people are just pieces of shit, right? And you're like, that's not
us.
100%. And so you always kind of going, it's hard to think of the lowest common denominator and the best case scenario and factor those both in. Like, you're always going to be short on one end. Yeah. And I'd rather be short and on the horrible people side, because they're the worst. Right? They take advantage. They'll find a way to take advantage because that's what they are. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Are you all in McDonald's or just the guy at the top?
I'm so confused.
Why would I be? How does this look like a McDonald's? There's Lego and like giant
file cabinet. Yeah, and like,
I mean, a tiny little door that might be McDonald's. Like, I'm not sure.
Have you worked at McDonald's? Doesn't look anything like any of our rooms look like right now.
I mean, I was there enough a long time ago that I probably should have been working, but like, I might have cleaned a table once.
If a McDonald's had a gaudy painting of 3 dachshunds jumping into a pool, it would have been the 1970s, and we're not generations.
That's when the play place was banging, though. Like the play place back then, you're like, yeah, your kid might not come out of there, right?
Oh, it's true. It was. I never went to them, but I always looked at them from a distance. I was like, that could be me.
That was only 2 weeks ago.
That would be me. Yeah.
My mom wouldn't let me go. She was like, "No, you're gonna fall and be clumsy and stupid. You stay right here." And I'm like,
This is the thing, is that now this is the weird. What's up, Flame Guy?
Who got you to be bald?
I mean,
the forces of nature and Halloween, respectively.
I don't have male pattern baldness. I have stress-induced calcification of my follicles. So that's what I have. So that's why I have a little island up front. It's very nice. Atlas just has dealing with children. That's what's going on with him. And Halloween, he was Heisenberg. That's fair.
Yeah. Did you dress up, Orange?
No, I dressed up as myself. I wore like a little Halloween outfit that had a little pumpkin face right here, and the pumpkin face was like carved out, and it was really cool. Yeah. So it looked like I was like a pumpkin, like I had like a little pumpkin thing. But anyway, that's all I really did. I hung out with some friends. I can't remember what was going on. I think I just got really busy with work, so I didn't get a chance to really. I usually dress up, funnily enough, but I haven't. This year's been a little hectic, so I haven't had a chance to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what's up? All these people leaving comments, thank you very much. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe as well.
Absolutely. And also too, you guys with the weird comments, just talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Don't come commenting randomly. Go talk to somebody. That's okay. Like, you're a weirdo. We're weirdos too. We just got a better handle on it. You go
outside and touch the rapidly dying grass as we move into winter.
Grass is very needed for you.
Listen, pick up a leaf that's already brown and then mush it up in your hand and see how it feels.
We're talking about Thanksgiving. So last time Orange was here, we talked about Canadian Thanksgiving because it was
also known as everyone in the rest of the world.
Shut the fuck up, Dino.
Yep, exactly. No, it is. That's what it is.
and then now we're talking about like Thanksgiving break and what it's like for people.
Yeah.
There's no like saying for across the pond when it's just below the border. Because when you say south of the border, you mean Mexico. But that doesn't make any sense.
Sorry. Renta goes, people say my house is haunted, but in 300 years I've not seen it.
And he goes,
I love that street joke. It's top tier.
Yeah.
Major A, I'm in from Canada because you know, the only reason I'm alive is free healthcare. Ta-da! It's fine.
That's very useful.
I mean, it's come in handy.
This being the time to have dinner with your quote loved ones, what people can you not stand? You
know what? That's a fair question. Question. Like, I feel well. Here's the thing. I feel like there are some people that you invite just because you know it's going to be a spectacle, and then other people that you're like, you're going to ruin the vibe. You're definitely going to ruin the vibe, and I don't want you around. Right? Like, there's two sides to that. I don't know. It's very tricky. Family always is hit and miss because some people you're just crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
like, okay, me being a child of divorce, you always hear the thing of like, oh, 2 Christmases, 2 Thanksgivings too, which is way less fun. Thanksgiving is meant to be a one-time thing for the year. Because like you eat a bunch and then you go, oh, the tryptophan, football, I'm going to take a nap. Like, you're not supposed to do that and then go to another person's house and do it again.
Why not?
I mean, I call that a bang bang. It's good.
I was going to say, you get more free food.
I mean,
you get more free. My stomach only has so much room.
Leftover.
You're not trying hard enough, sir.
I did 2 Thanksgiving one time, but because I'm the person that gets invited to Thanksgiving, not the person that celebrates Thanksgiving because my family doesn't do it. So I always end up at someone else's house. And I don't know, like one year I had 2 back-to-back ones. I was like, hey, I got leftovers here, I got leftovers there. I'm good for all of December. I don't even need to think about food for the next month.
But you're not like one of the central like people in that Thanksgiving. You're the I invited.
I'm the NPC.
Friend. You're an NPC in this Thanksgiving. So there is not an obligation to be like, what, you don't like my cranberry sauce? No, you're just there.
Yeah, I get to stare at everyone and go, yeah, this is delicious. Yeah, it's great.
What's the etiquette on? So I feel like Thanksgiving, like Christmas, everyone knows to be happy and don't ruin it, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas Thanksgiving, I feel like you have to remind everybody, hey, we're having family time and it's going to be fun, okay? Everybody put a smile on your face. It's Thanksgiving. Be thankful. Like, I feel like that's a thing.
They do that, but then it turns into Festivus from Seinfeld. I got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're going to hear about them.
Festivus should always be celebrated.
For the rest of us.
This is totally fair. But, like, what's the etiquette on bringing stuff for Thanksgiving?
I believe if you got invited at least a week in advance, you should bring something. It doesn't have to be a dish, but something.
Well, like if you've invited me to your house, if I come empty-handed, I feel like a degenerate, right? Like I have to bring like a bottle of wine or like some dessert or something, like right? But like I feel like Thanksgiving is very iffy. Like people are very particular about how they eat Thanksgiving, right? Yes. And like I've heard some horror stories about raisins and potato salad and things of that nature, which I'm like, this is horrible, right?
Those people deserve a big cartoon wind-up punch. One of these.
Bro, okay. This is okay. Just one thing. Trudeau is a gentleman. He does. I'll give you this. He does have great hair. That's fair. And Rent-A-Ghost in Ireland, we developed a whiskey instead of healthcare. I had a friend who was Irish, and he would say that his grandma would be like, "Hey, if it hurts on the outside, splash some whiskey. If it hurts on the inside, splash some whiskey." Both valid and helpful. So
we need to bring John D. Ruddy back and have him confirm or deny.
Totally reasonable.
Also,
he would agree.
Yeah. Also, Family Guy covered it too. Michael McLeod's invented a new beverage in his basement.
Yeah. That was the downfall of Ireland. That's fine. Yeah. It's about. I know. See, there's a different spelling for things. Remember, The removal of letters also came down to the price of news article, like printing news ads, right? So color in the States, gray is different. Like, so we will follow the UK version because we still have a king, whereas you guys are basically running wild like teenagers and have no control over anything. So you're like, we'll just remove letters and stuff.
That was Washington's dream, to do our own thing with the English language.
I exist with my own encyclopedia of vocabulary. So I came up with, what was it? Festivity? No, it was like I forget what I said earlier. I was trying to get my Christmas tree up. I know I'm stupid. I'm doing it early because I'm working, and
I literally just did that today.
Like, I'm only doing it because I'm out of town for like a week and a half. So I was like, screw it. But I forgot what I said. It was like fest activities, or I combined the two words, and my boyfriend was like, that was definitely a Masha word. That's something Masha would say. I come up with my own language all the time.
Festivities. This sounds totally.
That's exactly what it was. Festivities.
Yeah.
You're correct. I was like, yeah, it's just for festivities. He's like, what? Festa what? I'm like, festivities.
I feel like festivities hits a lot of marks. You're like, it's a combination of words, a little sexual because it's got titties in the middle. You're like, there's a lot to unpack of that. I mean, that's fair. I think
it works.
If you want to hear more about how the English language is 4 different languages wearing a trench coat, check out our last week's episode with Liz Fletcher.
That's 100% accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you guys. It's like American Thanksgiving is such a big production, and then it's followed with Black Friday, right? Which is I love watching the videos, both of like the charging masses running through a door and like breaking half the stuff at the entrance of a place. And then I also love the ones where they're like, they have 30 staff, they open the door and it's one guy who's like, hey, what's up, everybody? Here for the sales. And there's nobody else. And you're like, it's both. It's like the rise and fall of capitalism.
Yeah. Well, like the second one is becoming more common because people are starting to realize what they do like during the month of October is jack up the price. And then the Black Friday price is just what it was back in like August and September. So they're like, it's not worth it anymore. Why am I going to a doorbuster event in the freezing cold for what is mostly just going to end up being nothing? And if you want more on that sort of thing, there is a great musical called Black Friday.
Is it really?
Yeah. So it's Star Kid, the same people who did the guy who did like musicals and Firebringer. But they're going after this like Tickle Me Elmo type doll it looks like Cthulhu, because of course it would. And it's like an otherworldly demon trying to take over the universe, and it's doing it through capitalism. It's really cool.
I feel like that those dots connect.
Yeah,
like that definitely...
they put it on. They put all their stuff on YouTube. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen, there's like, this is the whole thing. Like, I don't think it was that long ago. It would have probably been I was in my 30s when I figured out. No, it might have been in college where we learned about how Black Friday is only about the economics of it, where it's like, this is traditionally when stores would be in the black, like they would have and you're like, oh okay, that makes a lot more sense, because you're like, it's there's no green in business. You're either in the red or you're in the black, which you're like, that's fair, I understand. But Black Friday was when the tide would turn, and then you got that Christmas rush, and that's why everyone would get bonuses around that time. And that's and like the advantage is that once everything cools down, you have like a few months where a lot of people, this is the only time of the year that they work, right? It's like that's when they get extra mail carriers, Santas, all sorts of special events, just because it goes for the whole month, right? Yep. I feel like November doesn't have, like, you guys have Thanksgiving, but like there's no real like festival type stuff, like maybe a little bit, but not like Halloween where you have all of October, there's stuff like haunted houses and everything, right? Christmas, there's all of December you have stuff to do, whereas November, you're like, Thanksgiving. That's about it.
Katie described it to me as like November and December are the holiday season. So Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Diwali, Kwanzaa, whatever the hell else you celebrate that falls in there is the holiday season. Yeah. Whereas like roughly end of August to Halloween is spooky season.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I was celebrating spooky season in September. It's also pumpkin season.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, that's the whole point.
Season.
but that's the whole idea. Is that's why the rest of the universe celebrates Thanksgiving in October, because it's a harvest festival. Boom, win again.
Okay.
Well, then what do you do in November?
Remembrance Day. Actually, so
that's true.
That's
our Veterans Day. Orange.
Yeah, a weird thing has been happening lately. My local Starbucks, they have started to remember my order that I pick up for my wife and I.
Oh, no.
Which I'm like, that's a good thing, but also I feel weird. But then like when I went up, it was actually November 11th, and like it's been a going thing where you're like, you're not allowed to decorate for Christmas until after Remembrance Day, because it's an important thing, right? Like it's something that's commemorative. Yep. And I pulled up to the window because I go drive through because I'm a piece of shit, and sure enough, she's like, "Oh, Merry Christmas." I'm like, "Hey, it's not, the 11th hasn't passed. Don't do that. People get mad." And she was like, "Oh yeah, you're right." And I'm like, "I'll also take the hat off," because she had a Christmas hat on. I'm like, "Yeah, no, don't do that. It's not. It's because like it's about showing that respect, right? The whole idea about it is fair, right? And right, free samples. Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Merry Christmas to you, sir and or ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello.
Did Jesus die so you can have holidays in Santa? I mean.
No, Jesus died so I can lie to everyone and tell them I'm happy. Yeah. That's why. If you don't sin, Jesus died for nothing. That's just nice. What's up, Joey?
Joey said, hello, hey to Orange specifically.
Yeah, of course he's gonna ignore us.
I'm cooler, duh.
Fucking guy.
That's true.
That is
I'm a mouse, duh. This year for Thanksgiving, where since Katie and I have gotten together, I've just gone to her family's Thanksgiving every year because it is a family who loves each other, and the baggage is that they yell at each other sometimes for like 5 seconds and then it's over, and it's not bubbling under the surface for the entire time. Yeah, like my family. So this year my dad's coming, and my sister and her husband are going to my brother-in-law, like the brother-in-law's family up in like Washington State. So I invited my mom too. Now, for context, listeners,
why would you do that?
My parents haven't been in the same room since like 2007, and then my wedding.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So, hey, I was there, and technically they weren't in the same room at his wedding. They were. Yeah. There was like it was a Venn diagram of two separate circles happening. It was that's fine. But so you invited your mom to
and my dad because one, I wanted to just they're both in their 70s. I feel like they would just get over it by now.
You're wrong. But do they know that each other is going to be there?
Yes. Okay. I told Dad I'm going to invite Mom too. He's like, okay. And then that was it. Yeah. And then I told my mom I was going to invite my dad, Kitty.
Yeah, sorry, she's begging for attention. You can ignore her.
No.
I love cats.
She just became the star of the show.
But it was the middle of storytelling.
Yeah.
Cat.
And then I invited my mom, and then she's like, I'm not going to go. I'm like, are you going to be doing something then? And she goes, no. I'm like, okay. And then that was it. So that's her problem.
Yeah, it's like this is the thing, right? Like, and it gets harder, I think, as people get older. They're like, I'd rather just be alone than be in a situation I don't like. And I'm like, I get it, but also like, if you don't, put yourself in uncomfortable situations, like, and then I think this is true for your whole life, right? If you don't push yourself to be in mildly uncomfortable settings, like you're progressively going to, slowly pull back, and that's not healthy for yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because then like it's one of those whole people will just like, I can't like if I wasn't doing comedy for quite some time and I was just doing online stuff, and people were like, we thought you might have died, and I'm like, I was very fat. That's a fair thing to connect, right? It's the same. What is it? Stavros, the comedian, he's like ridiculously fat, and he's like, I can't do black and white pictures on my Facebook because people just assume it's a RIP type post.
No.
That's so unfortunate.
It's Cole's like, me AF alone all the way. I mean, they're like, it's being happy with just yourself is a good thing, but you can't like always do that. You have to,
yeah.
You know?
And like, it doesn't have to be the like, oh, I'm going to go with my whole family every year, especially if like your family sucks. You know? But to at least like try and extend the olive branch, especially where my mom is like, why don't we see each other ever? I'm like, I'm literally giving you an opportunity.
Yeah, and that's like I love this comment. You only grow with fertilizer. That's on so many levels. I love that because it's true. But like that's I'm mildly uncomfortable looking at the mirror, so I'm covered. That's also true. That's comedy. Also, everyone, make sure you like and subscribe and to everybody here. Otherwise, that makes you a bad person. And Christmas is coming. You'll get a lump of coal. Don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of coal.
I mean. But yeah, like it's tough because like we were saying earlier, like there are some people you want to invite because you're like, you know it's going to be entertaining, and then other people you're like, you might throw up in my
Maybe
bath.
not.
No, I don't want to come. You know?
Oh no, not the drinkers.
I mean, and
like Thanksgiving was not so much to drink. I thought that was more of a Christmas thing.
I think so. Well, because you spike the eggnog, right? Versus with Thanksgiving, yeah, I guess it's less about the drink and more about the food.
Yeah, it's more about the the memories that you're supposed to be making, and I feel like it's more like a family thing. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't just casually just drink in front of my mom like it's like no tomorrow. I just sit there and go, I'll just have one. Usually New Year's is like the super drinking one. That's when you're supposed to go like all out.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear, Cole, it's comments like that are gonna bite you in the ass when you lose your hair. Just an FYI, just letting you know.
Yeah,
you dirty little with your beautiful hair and punchable face. Yeah, no, but that's the thing. Like, I that's a fair point though. I don't think people will get completely shit faced on Thanksgiving, whereas Christmas, everybody gets shit faced, right?
Yeah.
And it's a little bit more, but. I don't know, but your Atlas, your dad and father-in-law get in their they have a good time together, don't they?
Yeah, they're buddies. It's good.
Like your dad seems very easygoing, which like makes me want to rile him up just to see what happens. But
it's very hard. He's a very like easygoing person. Like I think especially with Parkinson's, where it's just so exhausting to exist.
Did you ever? Yeah, 100%.
He's like even before the Parkinson's, he was incredibly hard to get a rise out of him, and that's for better or for worse.
At the same time, it's like twice divorced. You're like, I have questions because I've been divorced, and I'm like, I am a piece of shit. So I know that I was definitely part of the problem. Cole, bro, all the men in my lineage still have hair. Yeah, but you don't have men in your lineage. They all have left.
Your dad's side, then it doesn't matter. It comes from your mom's side.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the baldest of us all? Me. That's fair.
Yeah.
What's up, Scott?
Hair conversations, man. I'm like, I don't want to lose my hair. I like it.
No, that's
Orange. I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Okay. Good. Like,
yeah.
I've actually been doing treatments recently. I've been actually trying to, because I'm like 30 now, so I'm like trying to be a little bit more careful with what I do to my body.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I've been getting more vitamins. I've been doing like special, like using bamboo brushes instead of regular brushes. Basically, I've been trying not to break my hair and take care of my scalp more, and it's been very helpful. Like literally, all this is like new. Little strands of hair that's been coming out.
That's the thing is like you start to find out that like your diet and activity and all that kind of stuff, it matters greatly as you get older.
Yep, right? Your body's a machine. Like you and the way you take care of it is how long it's gonna last. Like I'm watching a lot of stuff about like all this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like like I actually need to start caring. Like I work from home, so a lot of the times I'm sitting, and I started working out again, just very little, and I'm seeing the difference. I'm like, oh my god, like I had to go to my attic to get my Christmas stuff. If I did it last year, I would be like, ugh. This year, like I hop right on. I'm like, yeah, I'm in.
Cole says that's the trick: lose your dad, keep your hair. I mean, that's fair. But yeah, like that's the I was telling Atlas that I'm like, I'm not the lightest I've ever been, but I am definitely right now the smallest I've ever been, which means like all my working out is starting to pay off. Like I'm starting to build muscle and remove fat, which is great.
Yeah.
And like I feel better when I do activities because I'm not like like
Same. Like in the last year or so, like I'm definitely not the thinnest I've ever been, but it feels like cohesive, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I'm stocky, but it's fine. Like
yeah. I mean, as long as you take care of yourself. Of course, as you get older, it gets harder and harder. I mean, we can go into a whole discussion about the fight too with Mike Tyson and
oh my God.
kind of similar thought, because a lot of people start realizing like, oh man, age really does catch up with you, huh?
Yeah.
You get to like watch that kind of stuff. Because I was watching last night, I was like, man, like it's crazy to see a legend. Like he's still doing well, but you start thinking about it, like you're watching age, like you're watching the number like right in front of you as like the man is like toughing it out, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it last night. I was like, I'm so glad I started working out again. I'm so glad I started eating better. Like it made me think about, not that I'm saying that Mike Tyson, obviously he does, because he wouldn't have lasted in the ring as long as he did if he didn't take care of himself. But but still, like it made me think like, oh man, like it's so important to look after yourself, because you don't want to be like 50 and go like, oh, I can't do anything. Like
I feel personally
it catches up. But of all of us here, it catches up. Like you're aware, you've been through it. You've seen the change.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Hammered and Cheese did a stream during the actual fight, so if people want to go check that out with Dino and Cole, go check it out. But the only thing I was thinking of, because I hopped in the chat for a couple minutes and I was like, why doesn't Tyson go for the ear again?
My boyfriend made the same comment. Like, because he was biting his glove, like just
so okay,
go for the ear. Yeah,
we were discussing this on the episode too. Was the whole idea that like the first 2 rounds, Jake Paul was shitting his pants because and then other people were like, oh, but Mike got really tired in the 3rd round. You're going, I hate to put this out there, but at the same time, I'm like, also too, like there's a lot of stuff that happens behind closed doors, and it's like, if you're getting paid $30 million and they're like, hey, you can't knock him out, and like I feel like most people assumed that rule, but like internally we were all like, he's also Mike Tyson. He may just go, I don't need the money. I'm gonna kill this little motherfucker and just
I was wondering. I was stressed out. I was like, God, I hope there is no KOs. Like, I don't know. People call it elderly abuse. It really did feel like looking at elderly abuse at some point. I was just like, oh.
I was like, dude, you just beat up an old guy.
Yeah,
it doesn't make you look any better. Like he's a lot of people
he doesn't care about
him because he's an a-hole, and then now you just beat up an old guy. So good job.
And also too, like, Mike Tyson didn't land one uppercut.
Yeah.
Which you're like, let's be honest. You like the amount of money I'd have to get paid to willingly get hit with a Mike Tyson uppercut is significant, because you're not going to be okay afterward. Like there's like I have a cinder block for a head and face, and I'd be like, nah, I don't think that's a good idea. That I'm going to hurt for a long time. I may never be the same, you know? So it's one of those things where like, you were watching and like he stumbled a couple times and you're kind of going like, I don't think he's that out of shape that where he would lose his balance in that scenario. But then at the same time, you're going, you're 58. Shit just goes weird, right?
Yeah. He also had like the knee injury, which I think wasn't helping him, because I was watching a year back when he was like training and he looked perfectly fine. He was like, he was like very stable. And then like this time around, you can kind of tell that something was, I think his knee like kind of came in and he started like really feeling it. So he was like, okay, I can't like go all out.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Yeah. Muscle burns fat. It's that transition time, Cole. I can't pronounce your name, but hello, we are well. We hope you are too. He was stay out of the box. Mike is old. Stay alive for that first couple rounds, and you're good.
That seems to be a thing for like from World War II to Muhammad Ali. It just seems like don't die, don't get knocked out, and you win. Like,
well, that was the thing we were discussing. Was like back in the day, a boxing match, like the rounds were when someone went down. And like it went until someone didn't get up. Like that's so you had like 130 rounds of violence, which is terrifying. And they were also bare knuckle. You're like, it's not the same thing, right? Yeah, Mike landed 17 punches, Jake landed 78. No way that was the agreed upon script. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things where like, especially now, like I make jokes about this on stage where I'm like, I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm not in good shape, but I am in the best shape of my life.
For where you could be at this stage,
right? So I'm like, I am 100% like, I will antagonize people to like be angry and be like, well, you want to go? And I'd be like, yeah, I want to try it out. But at the same time, I don't want to get my ass kicked by a bunch of 20-year-olds, right? That's it's 3:27 here in my place. It is 5:10 here. Where time?
Deviate for like a split second, but that person's name is Artom Mukinin. I believe that's how you say it. I know Russian and I know a little bit of reading, so just thought I'd let you know. His name is Artom
Mukinin. Oh.
Well, Artom, we hope you are well.
Sorry, I didn't mean to deviate. I was I can read that.
I always get messed up with because that's the thing is like I can read and write Greek, but at the same time, not all the letters are the same, and I'm like I always forget if a P because in Greek, P is an R.
No, it's the same in Russian. That it's ARTEM basically, but the T and the M are a little bit different because it's the Russian language.
Okay.
And then the last name is Mukinin. It's kind of a weird way to say it, but yeah.
Hey. All are welcome, everyone. Make sure you like and subscribe. Otherwise, you're getting a lump of coal for Christmas.
Aren't Russians Greek, Dino? No, coal. Not
you know you're aging when you pick up your date from the...
Oh, no.
I think the most annoying part about this is he used the wrong kind of or. There's an ellipsis for no reason. God damn it. Okay. If any of my students saw that, this is... no.
Yeah.
You know why I'm like this.
It's me. I'm the lump of coal. He is the lump of coal. That's 100% accurate.
He's a lump.
I swear to God, Cole, I'm gonna punch you in the back of the head when I come down there. Well, I was talking with Cole about me going down there for Thanksgiving, but his mom's still there, and I'm like, yeah, she'll probably stab me. So I don't think that's because I will push the buttons. Yeah.
Look who wants to go to Thanksgiving in America. Oh,
listen. I'll go pretty far for a free meal that's going to be good. Cole cooks well. So
Thanksgivings. 2 Thanksgivings.
Oh, that's the other thing. Like props to my mom for being a good cook, but she's not a very good host.
Oh no.
That's fair though.
Katie's family, great hosts. They're
yeah.
So.
Yeah, free food is free food.
I respect Dino, it's a toast game. That's accurate. It's 100% true. Yeah. Like it's that's the thing. Yeah. For me, I definitely embraced the bang bang life where it's like, yeah, we went for dinner and then we went for dinner. It was great.
Yeah.
It was a fun time. Yeah. Yep. I also invented breakfast dessert and lunch dessert. That's a real thing.
I respect it.
That's the sequel I never knew I wanted. Kiss, kiss, bang, bang, nap, nap.
I mean, top tier.
Food is too good. You have to respect food.
Well, this is the other thing. Like, it wasn't until I was in my early 20s that I even start liking feta cheese. Like your palate changes, and even now, like when I started fasting, my palate changed again, and I started liking bitter and sour stuff more than sweet stuff.
Yep.
Well, because when you go without, say that again.
Oh, I've been going through that too, where I'm like, man, I don't want to eat a cake. I want to eat something sour.
Yeah. Well, even like, so this is my second Starbucks for today, and it was 5 shots of espresso. So I'm up to 10 shots for the day, which is fine. That's fine. But like,
yeah, sure.
I'm like, I don't get any sweetener. I just get heavy cream, and I'm like, that's it. And I kind of like it's like a bitter, weird taste, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. 2 Christmases, except he's like 2 Thanksgivings. Yeah.
Well, I literally said that at the beginning of the episode.
Dino, give me knee surgery. I mean, I'll do it, but you're not going to walk right. I'll tell you that much. It's not. Yeah.
You'll be tripping balls on that coffee. I know.
What if he gives you a third knee?
I mean, a joint where there was no joint before. Yeah. It makes peeing in urinals a lot easier. It's fine. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I don't know. Yeah, I don't care. I need it. That's fair. I understand.
I gotta say, one of the best Thanksgiving rituals when you're somewhere where you don't like the people very much is the walk. Everyone get out of the house. I'm making dinner. Everyone, I don't go do something else. So you and that cousin, or the friend who you went with, or whatever, take a bottle of something and walk around the neighborhood.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's like, there's see, this was the one thing, like growing up, because we didn't celebrate Christmas or Thanksgiving or everything, but it was always an excuse to have a get together with other friends, right? So we would have like big parties especially like being Greek, we were part of the Greek community, so we would have all of our Greek friends over and we'd be dancing and stuff. But like my mom would make like an obscene amount of food, and then other people would bring more food. And then like, but it was very, it's very traditional, right? So then like all the dudes would go outside or they would go into the family room and we would have like discussions on like serious topics and theology and stuff. And then all the women would be cleaning up and having their own discussions and making fun of all the fat men. And like it was just kind of there. And then all the kids were like, okay, go in the basement and don't break anything. And you're like, 50-50. We might break everything. I can only imagine Dino brings zip ties to surgery and duct tape and super glue. Also true. One coffee and I'm like a coke head on mushrooms with a touch of speed. I mean, you're a ghost. I don't think that's fair. Hold on. Why? Jesus Christ. But yeah, that's like one of those things where also too, like it's so much better. During the summertime, me and my wife were doing this, whereas after we would eat dinner, we would go for a little walk just around the block. Yeah. And it makes you feel so much better. And like for my entire childhood, my dad was like, we should go for a walk. And I'm like, because I was a fat kid. And I'm like, I don't want to walk. I just want to sit here and watch TV. But yeah, it's a million times better.
Yeah, walks are great. Yeah, I have like a ritual with food. Like if I eat like a ton of food, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go for a walk.
It makes everything better.
Yeah, you get the fresh air and like it makes it's like sitting down and laying down is like the worst thing you can do after eating food. It's actually like horrendous for your body. It like slows down the metabolism and it's bad for your stomach. Like in every single way, it's like bad for you.
Yeah, 100%.
I can say the one time where that's not helpful, and that is when I was a kid. I was at a friend's house and we had dinner, and then he had a trampoline. And we went on the trampoline.
Oh no!
I projectile vomited.
Oh, geez.
Because I was like jumping and I did a spin. And
oh no!
Like a sprinkler head, just
ew, that's so gross.
In every direction. That wasn't Thanksgiving, but that was just a childhood memory that's been unlocked.
Yeah, you really did unlock something crazy there. That sounds nasty.
Will, I'm so sorry.
Jesus. That is absolutely horrific. Thanksgiving was always fun for us. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys have
everyone a food bath? I don't think it hit anyone. It landed along the breast. It was just he and I think it managed to like miss him, but it was like one circle almost.
What a lucky guy! Yeah. I would hate to be in that. If that were me, I would be like, I don't think I want to talk to you after this one. I think we're done. Yeah. Our friendship's over.
Yeah, we're not talking to each other in math class in 5th grade anymore.
No, 100% not. I would be like, yep, that's the
get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, threw up at me on a trampoline, and hasn't been the same since.
Atlas was like, food fight, you say? Bet.
Oh no.
There, hold on. Sorry, give me 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to load a picture. He sent me a picture, and I'm trying to get it on here because it's hilarious. But keep on talking. Food fight, you say? Bet. Yeah, that's fair.
Big table, little table for the kids. Yeah,
bro. This was the weird thing. I hit puberty and I was still at the little kids table and I'm like, I dwarfed everyone and I'm just like, this is horrible. It's not, there's no room.
I just left every single, because I never do like Thanksgiving stuff, but like in my culture, it's a lot of, we do like a lot of family like dinners. Yeah. And anytime they put me on the kids table, I would last like maybe 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to the Xbox or PlayStation 2. I'm just going to go do something else. Bye, y'all. I would get bored so fast.
How big would those gatherings be?
Huge. My family is ginormosaurus rex. It's about like 60 of us. And that's usually not everyone. Yeah, people don't know this about me. My family is absolutely huge. Actually, and it's just my mom's side. That's not even including my dad's side. My mom's side is huge. My dad's side, my dad's somewhere in the abyss of Europe. I don't know where, so I don't even know how big that side of the family is. But just my mom's side alone is just ginormous.
Wow. 60 people.
Yeah, we do like a double table. We basically we're at my uncle's place in Staten Island, and we'd use the entire living room, have a table, and then the kids' table usually be in the kitchen. So I would just be sitting here like, well, everyone's over there, and I'm over here, and I already finished my bread and my fucking what did we eat? We had I can't remember the name. It's like fish eggs. It's not coming to me like the English term for fish eggs.
Bro.
What?
Fish roe.
Fish roe, that's another thing, but they're like little orange ones.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it, but basically it was fish eggs. I know that sounds weird, but it's very
caviar.
Maybe I know they do that in Japan, but
like caviar, you mean?
Caviar. There it is.
Caviar.
But like the orange caviar, like the salmon caviar, not the black caviar, which is expensive. But it's pretty. It's like a staple in at a dinner table to have like white bread, a little bit of butter, and like caviar on top. So that's like adorable for us. So after I finished my caviar, because that's like all I would eat because I was a kid, and I was like, I just want the good shit. I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm gonna go play with my Xbox. But our family was, oh my god, it was so very a lot of alcohol, a lot of tables, and a lot of people drinking.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's see, that's I want Thanksgiving dinner. God damn it.
Hey, just fly to America, like the other part of the world, and just have at it.
On one side, I'm thin enough and narcissistic enough that I'm like, maybe I could hitchhike all the way. I'm like, maybe.
Probably could.
See what happens.
I could walk,
Or on your mom's side of the family, are you like one of the younger ones or one of the older ones?
So I am the first in my mom's family that came to America, like that was like a born American citizen here. Mm-hmm. So I'm technically, I would say I might be the oldest. No. I think my cousin's older than me, but she was born in Ukraine and she came here. So technically I'm the first born that came here. Like that was like born on American soil. Everyone prior to me was like born on the other soil. So I think I'm the oldest in terms of soil birth.
I more mean like interacting.
I don't think that's the word, but
with your cousins and siblings and stuff. Like, were you on the lower end or the higher end? Like,
lower end. Usually, I think I have like a couple cousins that were younger than me, but most of them are older than me because most of them were born in Ukraine and they all kind of moved over. So I was definitely more like the one of the lower childs. I think there's like one or two cousins that are like a little bit younger than me, but mostly everyone was like already in high school, and I'm just sitting here being a little fourth grader. So yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about because I'm the youngest of my generation of family. My dad was the youngest of 9. I'm the youngest of 5. So like let me see. The oldest of my cousins is the same age as my mother.
Oh, wow.
Their kids would be like in their 30s. One of them became a doctor and she would bring me out and she'd be like, this is my uncle. And I'm like 10 years old going, hi.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. And hilariously, then I turned 15 and I immediately looked like I was 47 for the rest of my life.
Yeah. So, and then they're like, this is my uncle. And they're like, well, yeah, of course it's your uncle.
Yeah. Obviously, he looks like Father Time. Yeah.
The weirdest experience with age. If you look at a photo of me from like 5th or 6th grade, my face, like this face, looks exactly the same. I remember I showed someone a picture of it. There's no way that's you. Like the only difference was my hair color. Like I had my mom kept randomly putting highlights in my hair for no reason. I don't know why she kept doing that. So I had highlights in my hair. She would dye her hair. She'd be like, well, here you go. And I'm like, what are you doing? So she just randomly have highlights in my hair. So yeah, like the kid version of me, like the face, aside from like losing a little bit of weight here and there, like on the chin, like literally like almost the same person.
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't know how I managed to do it, but I've looked exactly the same basically since I was like 12 to like now. I am starting to see a little bit of a difference, like especially on my eyes and stuff like that. But for the longest time, it's been the exact same face.
Yeah. Michael just said I look like I'm 70. So thank you for that, Michael. I'll see you in hell.
No.
He did say Father Time.
I do look. No, there's no question. Like this is the thing is so like later today I was telling you guys I'm going to a friend's show and we're going to be it's his birthday celebration because his birthday is this week and he's older than me by about 3 years and I look older than him by probably about 5 or 6 years and I'm like he doesn't have any facial hair so I'm like I feel like that's the real issue. But at the same time, I'm like, this is bullshit. It's not fair. I finally was able to load up the picture that Cole sent me. And this is basically for anyone who missed the Mike Tyson fight. It's a recap where it just says buffering, Mike Tyson's ass, buffering. So pretty much. Yeah, it was a show for everyone. That's fine. I am kind of surprised that they didn't delay it to like a Thanksgiving fight. I feel like that would have been interesting.
It would have been so good to watch. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know about y'all, but I'm one of those people where like I'm a pizza person when it comes to like watching fights. So I don't want Thanksgiving dinner in front of me. I want pizza and Coca-Cola, specifically those two things in front of me because it just works so well. You got the TV, you got the pizza, you got the Coke, and you're slamming it down while watching greatness happen for you.
I mean, like, you know what? I think that's one of the things. Like, so before you came on, Atlas was watching me devour a slice of pizza that my wife and I picked up. Like, we stopped ordering pizzas and stuff just because we're healthy. It's bullshit. But that, like, we were like, oh, you know what? It's still a little early. We'll each get a slice of pizza and bring it home. And I ate it, and I was like, it was a decent slice of pizza, but for me, since I haven't had it, I'm just like, oh yeah, I remember pizza loved me. Pizza loved me like no other. It was great.
Yeah, pizza's great. I usually do the same thing. I don't like normally order it. I usually only order it whenever I have guests over for like something like I don't know if you guys ever heard of chess boxing, but chess boxing was a thing that happened. I think it was last year. It happened right near you, Atlas. It was in your state where they did this whole big event for it. But anyway, so during that I ordered pizza, and to this day I still have the memory of chess boxing, pizza, and Coca-Cola. It was great.
Absolutely. I remember, like, when we were when I was younger, me and my best friend at the time, we would each order like a large pizza. And this is just when so the popular chain up here is Pizza. And that's like the most prominently available. Now there's a lot more, but that was the big one. And they just started having dipping sauce. So like the funny thing is, like, their pizza is like mediocre. I mean, like a solid C, maybe a B minus, like that kind of area. It's good pizza, right?
Like a medium to a medium plus.
Yeah.
If you remember Matt saying all that stuff,
right? Yeah. But they have a garlic dipping sauce, which I had today, which I'm like is so good. And you're like, I'll be honest with you, like, I would get good pizza somewhere else and then still stop at this place and be like, hey, can I just get 3 garlic dipping sauces? And so we would order this. We would end up getting like 3 dipping sauces each because we're horrible people, and then just devour a pizza while doing like whatever. And then you're like, yay, it's youth and metabolism. And then that disappeared on us. So one of those things.
No more
junk food. Is this about food? It's about life, Frog Guy. It's about life. You should know. Come on. This Thanksgiving, a month ago, for us, we actually ordered from a local place. It's like a fancy pants bakery, but they make a lot of food, and they were offering a full Thanksgiving dinner.
Wow.
It was so good. And like, I ate like a pig, but it was so good. Like, it's very much like, even their desserts, like, so the highest compliment in Asian culture for a dessert is, ooh, not so sweet. And I'm like, that doesn't jive because it's dessert. I want it to be sweet. But so their stuff isn't that bad sweet wise. So it's like, it's more savory and everything like that. So they made this whole thing, and it was great. And now all I can think of is like, maybe I can get it for like American Thanksgiving if I convince them.
Definitely could.
Because I mean, why not? It's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Humor, that's life. Hey.
We have that over here. There's like, what is it? Ham. It's like something ham where you can order Thanksgiving from. Like, you can get that. Also, down in the South, we have Publix, and they actually have these things called Thanksgiving dinners. I used to be a Publix manager back in the day. And you basically, it was actually, for the price, it wasn't bad. You basically, you pay $75, you get a big ass turkey, you get like 4 sides, you get like the things of gravy, you get cranberry, everything you need for basically a dinner. You just warm it all up and you're good to go. I used to have to make this speech to every customer I talked to. They're like, what do you do with it? I was like, this, and that, and you have dinner. They're like, wow, that's crazy. See, this is a smaller one too if you wanted.
Well, that's the thing for us is I'm like, we my in-laws and the helpers and even us a lot of time now, we just can't eat that much turkey. And you're like, turkey's a lot. Like, it's a lot of turkey, right? Yeah. So you're like, it kind of defeats the purpose. So we would order from places and stuff where we would make a chicken, something like that, and you're like, that's more manageable.
Yes.
But that's why with this, it was like everything was already done. They even had like laminated instructions that they included, and it was like a special. You got hold on.
Oh, he's got the instructions with him.
No, I got the fancy bag. This is the fancy bag. The fancy bag. So they included it. It was 2 bags, and it's one of those fancy grocery bags where it's got like the hard bottom that folds down, and then it becomes like a full proper.
That sounds like that's so good.
They do really. I keep on mentioning to my wife, and she's like, "But we're trying to lose weight," and I'm like, I don't care.
I mean, I think for Thanksgiving you have like a pass.
Oh yeah.
So I think because you can't. What are you gonna do? Go to Thanksgiving, be like, I'm on a diet. I don't want to eat. Like, you can't say that. You know.
Yeah. Thanksgiving, there are no vegans. There are no vegetarians. There's only food.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a battle. It's either the food wins or you win. There's the only options. And if there's leftovers, you lost.
Yeah. The only exception are food allergies. That's the only because obviously, but
hard bottom, Dino's nickname on college. I mean, that's not wrong. I once ate a whole turkey. I went to one Thanksgiving, and it was a friend of mine that I knew in high school. Then he disappeared because he had to go live with his dad, and then we reconnected randomly through Facebook. And then he was like, "I'm having Thanksgiving at my house. I'm deep frying a turkey," and it was the only ever time that I've had a deep fried turkey, and I'm telling you, it was glorious. And I'm like, I want to do that again, but then I just looked into it, and I'm like, it is super fucking dangerous. Deep frying a turkey, you're like, yeah, that's exactly how you burn down your house. So yeah, he did it. I didn't. I just enjoyed the turkey. It was very moist and delicious. So
the only way make turkey taste good is when you do something that's not traditional to it, in my opinion. I think turkey is just the most bland thing on the planet.
You have to. Yeah.
You know what? So
I believe we did a Thanksgiving episode like years and years ago. Was it with Kelly Zimnikas talking about spatchcocking, where you like crush the turkey's rib cage so it cooks more evenly?
Yeah. Well, see, this is the wild thing is like, so for the longest time, I always see like you could buy a turkey leg at a like a fair and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
I've seen them at Costco. Yeah, and I'm like, I have always wanted to try it. And then we bought it for Victoria's dad because he wanted one, and he ate them. And I was like, I was thinking of having one. And Victoria's like, we can just get another one. So I got another one, and I tried it. I was like, this is horrible. There was just so much like sinew and stuff in it, and I'm like, this is a horrible experience. She's like, so you don't like it? I'm like, no, I kind of regret doing it, but it's those things.
I've never had it because it's always every time I go to the fair, like it looks like the size of someone's head, and I was like, I don't want to eat that. Like, I'm supposed to walk around a fair eating like a head size like piece of meat. Like, I can't do it. Like, I'd rather just have a little fried Oreos and call it a day.
Yeah,
I kind of feel personally attacked because I'm like, that's the entire reason I would want it. I'm like, it's the size of my own head, and I'm gonna eat it while walking. This is a form of intimidating everyone else. Yeah, no, it's fine.
It's just so much meat. Like, I can't fit all of that. Like, this mouth is small, dude. I can't. I'm gonna be there for like 3 hours. Maybe that's the point. Just get you to stay so you finish your turkey leg.
Just keep walking around. Okay, so Cole keeps on antagonizing my wife with the recipes. So like yesterday he made yum yum sauce, and he was like, I'm making a stir fry, and Victoria's like, why is there bouillon? And he's like, because I'm doing it different. And then like he put ketchup in it. It was ridiculous.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. He was like, we need he's like, we need ginger. So he took out a bottle of ginger ale and added it to a dish. And I'm like, that's not how you do it. Yeah. So he's like, tell Victoria I'm gonna make turkey fried rice for hammered and cheese on Saturday after Thanksgiving. I mean,
Cole, you know that Victoria has a passport, right? She can come down there and punch you in the face.
And she's just as stabby as your mom, so she'll pull out a screwdriver and just pow right through the ribs. I like smoked turkey. Smoked turkey, yeah. See, Victoria's like, LOL. Prepare your rice the night before for the love of Jeebus. I mean,
that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's advice to everyone. Roast your nuts. It's fine. It's a good thing. It's just roast your nuts and don't use almond extract. It never works out. It's just those are two key components that everyone should keep in mind. This has been I'm looking forward to hearing about what happens at Atlas's Thanksgiving, because
that'll
I feel like your mom might just show up randomly, and then it's like, and then the police got called. It was great. It's fine.
Not about the police, but you would probably show up and be like, "What? I said yes, maybe once back then." Sort of, kind of.
Yeah, like, it's accurate. That's fair.
It's exhausting. Right. Well, the good thing is that Sunday after Thanksgiving will be John Yavies actually showing up.
There you go.
Because remember that week he got sick.
He was sick.
Yeah, so his rescheduled time is December 1st. So people who had a good Thanksgiving and are like, man, I wish I could have seen John Yavies. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Boom. Yeah. Because we accommodate everyone. That's why you should like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, of course.
Absolutely.
Outer Orange, thank you so much for coming on Generation Dan with us.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
where can people find and follow you and all that good stuff?
Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, just the same name on basically all of them. So you can find me there. I do a bunch of card game content. Sometimes I randomly mess around with like video games and stuff like that. But I've been doing a lot of vlogs recently, so you'll probably find random vlogs of me traveling around. So there's also that.
Nice.
You can follow the show at Generation Dan. No longer on Twitter. I nuked it from orbit. You can find us at Generation Dan on Blue Sky, Instagram, and on YouTube or anywhere you get your podcasts. You can also follow me at Atlas Novak and all those same places. Same thing. Nuked my Twitter from orbit. It's Atlas Novak on Blue Sky now.
And I'll tell you, if you like musicals and parodies, Atlas is who you want to follow because it is ridiculous.
Yep. A lot of my content on TikTok is like sketches about being a teacher, and I'll like cram a musical song in there. So, yeah. By force. It's hilarious. Yeah. I start with the song that I like and work backwards from there.
Totally.
What about you, Dino?
Well, also too, I did call Atlas on it, and I was like, "Hey, I bet you're singing in the background." He's like, "I'm not admitting anything," and I'm like, "You're definitely singing along with the song."
50-50. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not.
He always is. It's lies. You can follow me at Dino the Genetic Marvel. If you don't, like I said, you're going to get a lump of coal. As you saw in the comments in your Christmas stocking.
That's COLE, by the way. Cold Lake is going to show up in your stocking with a screwdriver.
Yeah. No. He is also going to have blackface on to mimic real coal. It's
God. No.
But you can come check me out. And but I am we're doing a lot more shows recently. We've been doing stuff with Upside Down Studios as well. And Hammered and Cheese. We have Life of Giants is on Monday. We are working on a finance show, which is going to be called Make It Make Sense, but sense is going to be spelled like change. Haha.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. We're very creative. So that's going to be probably airing this Tuesday, next Tuesday. We're still trying to figure it out. And then Hammered and Cheese has moved to Saturday because our target audience is people who like to stay home on Saturday. So that's
smart.
Realistically, cook at home, get a little fat. That's a nice Saturday. I feel like that's good. So if you plug this into all social media, I don't even know what Blue Sky is. Maybe I have it. Maybe I don't. Who knows? So please feel free to follow me. I am monetized. So if you feel like you need a good deed, if you've done something really bad and you need a good deed, you can send me like a super chat and just throw money at me. That qualifies as a good deed. It counts for a sin. You can just balances out. That's what Thanksgiving's about, everyone.
Now that's how you make it make sense. I also forgot to mention Nexus at Night, which is my card game show with Matt Barber and Alvin Wu, aka Root Beer. We stream every Friday. So, and that's how we met Orange in the first place, was doing that as a podcast. Woo!
Perfect. Excellent. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we will be back soon. Bye.
Bye.